Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to WXED 107.3 FM. This is DJ Nikki in the studio with the beautiful Miss Cassie from elwoodcity.org. This is your weekly news wrap-up show. Every Saturday, well, for now, through the holidays, we're at noon. And the reason why we did that is because WXED is the official Christmas station for Christmas in the Park. So when everybody's driving through Ewing Park looking at all the awesome Christmas trees at nighttime, they tune their radios to 107.3 and we are blaring the Christmas music while they're driving through. Isn't that cool?
That is really cool. I was actually there last weekend. It was great.
Did you see the tree that I decorated?
No.
Okay. As you're coming through the park, the very, very last tree on the passenger side of your vehicle at the booth, you know, where you can offer a donation. Okay, so when you stop to offer the donation, look to your right. We're the very last tree. We're all blue and silver, and we say WXED all over it. Doesn't really stand out as much as I wanted it to because, like, when I'm looking at a box of lights and it tells me that there are hundreds of lights in the box, I picture in my head that that's a lot of lights.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, once we got the tree completely decorated and we turned it on, I was like, oh, that's not very brilliant. Not brilliant at all. Yeah, so it could, I think next year we're going to maybe triple up on the lights, you know. But I'm picky because our colors are blue and white for Elwood. I wanted only blue lights. And it's like, you know, those are harder to find. When you get a strand of a solid color, it's just harder to find.
Really?
Plus, I wanted our tree to be white and not green. I wanted us to be different. And so I went and I bought this snow spray stuff. And I don't know, maybe they make different kinds because I have seen trees that have been flocked with the white snow and it's like thick. I mean, it looks like they have icing on them and they're really, really white. And ours just didn't turn out like that. So, I mean, everything I do in my life is always a series of trial and error. Yeah, like, you know, usually fail, but that means I learned something. I love learning new stuff. So next year I know that I need a different type of flocking to make our tree white and I need way more lights. But it was still fun. You know, I got my kids down there, my fiance down there, my stepdaughter's boyfriend even came down and we were freezing.
Oh,
and
I know. When did you go?
I want to say that I was there right after Thanksgiving is when I decorated it. And it was really funny because we must have been an hour into decorating and I look over and I realize that Vince is wearing basketball shorts and it had to have been 30 degrees outside and I looked at him and I said, are you trying to be Ricky V right now? Because our morning show guy, have you ever met Ricky V?
No.
Okay, well, Ricky V, I'm not even sure owns a pair of pants, does not wear pants. He told me that he won't wear pants until the temperature drops below like 15 below zero.
Wow, what a trooper.
I know, it's crazy. And so it was really funny. The owner of the station, Cindy, she bought everyone gag gifts for Christmas. And as a gift for him, she gave him the bottom of a pair of pants.
Aw, isn't that funny?
It was really cute. And actually, somebody came up with an idea on how to get Ricky to wear pants. We want to get him a pair of sweatpants that has WXED written really big down the entire leg, so that way he can't cut them off because then he would just be WX.
Yeah, right. That's actually clever.
So maybe we can convince Ricky V to wear a pair of pants at least once. So anyway, last week we mentioned on the show that there was a suicide prevention class, which today's our record day, so we're here on a Friday. It's actually going on today. So when this airs tomorrow, I hope that all the listeners out there utilize the service. However, if they did not make it to the suicide prevention class, they can always still talk to the professionals up there at the crisis center. We want to give them the number. It's 724-652-9000, 652-9000. It's the easiest number in the world to remember, and they're open 24 hours a day. So the crisis center, you always give mad props out to them. Anyway, so for our weekly news wrap-up, we want to remind everybody that if you miss a couple of details here or there, you can always check it out at elwoodcity.org. So tell us what we got for this week for the news.
Okay, well, first and foremost, I kind of just wanted to bring this up because, as you know, it's been an ongoing issue for months. Bernstein actually managed to organize like a media day is what I kind of want to call it. And what
Like a press conference.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like what he did was he organized people from Elwood Electric, like not the company, but like standing up to Elwood Electric.
Okay. So consumers of
Yes.
Elwood Electric.
Yes.
Along with the media?
Along with the media. And there was actually a segment yesterday, which was Thursday in the evening, on WPXI regarding, Elwood Electric. And
I wish I would have known it was going to be on, because I would have watched it.
Yeah, I know, me too. I didn't even know about it until today.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, I've never had any issues ever when our state rep was Jarrett Gibbons, and I know him personally. He's a great guy, and I just recently got to meet Aaron. But talking to other people within that whole governmental system, they're all pretty excited about Aaron. They think that he's going to do a great job.
I think he's really made an effort with the community. Like, even at the Christmas parade last week, you could see him handing out candy in the parade. Like,
I reached out and said, "Hey, Aaron, how you doing?" And he's just so laid back and cool.
Oh yeah, he's a very
definitely
nice guy.
like one of us kind of guy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. But there's not a whole lot of information actually regarding that right now. I think we're still waiting on any videos to be uploaded to WPXI. And
now here's a question.
Okay.
I'm a layman when it comes to computer stuff. One, is it allowed? Two, can you do it? Are you able to put a link on elwoodcity.org that directs people to the WPXI video if one pops up?
Yes.
You can?
Yes.
Oh, cool. See, I didn't know, copyright or whatever issues if you were allowed to put a link, but you'd think that they would want people to be directed to their site.
Well, yeah, as long as we're not claiming that we, own the video.
You don't say it's your video, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, it's completely fine as long as they're linked back to it.
Cool. All right. So we'll keep an eye out and see when that happens, see if WPXI actually uploads that video, which they probably will.
I'm sure that they will.
Yeah, all right. So what else is going on in the news this week?
Another thing that I just kind of wanted to bring up is that there's a rabies clinic coming up on Saturday, December 17th.
And listen, people don't understand how important that is.
Oh, I did a whole article on why it's important. Yeah.
Is it on elwoodcity.org right now?
Yes, I just uploaded it actually.
Oh, good. So people don't even have to dig for it.
No. It's like the first thing on the site. At least as of right now.
It's like everybody loves a site that continuously has a lot of stuff, and a lot of information. But me, I get frustrated when I have to continue to search and search and search and search through a site to find what I want.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But that's why I love being in the position I'm in, because then I get to talk to you every week, and you kind of give me the lowdown on everything that's new, so I don't have to search.
That's the point of this, isn't it?
Right. I love it. I mean, that's the whole point of this show, is if you don't feel like searching, just tune into our show.
Exactly. But anyways, I did totally go into detail about why it's important to get rabies vaccinations. I mean,
absolutely.
I even mentioned how many people a year are potentially saved from rabies, and according to the CDC, it's upwards of 40,000 people in just America.
Wow.
And
I know that there was just 2 animals within the Allegheny area in the last month who tested positive for rabies.
I've actually seen plenty of rabid animals living up here. Yeah.
Oh, man.
There was one time where a possum was walking towards my car during the daytime, and I mean, you can
tell. And they're nocturnal, yeah.
Yeah.
If a possum's out in the daytime, something's wrong.
And
same thing with raccoons.
Yep, same with raccoons. I've seen them before, and they're rabid. And I mean, it's like Darlington. This is
right.
Where,
Yeah,
whenever I used to live over there.
Not very far.
No, in fact, actually, the possum was over in Brady's Run Park.
Wow.
Yeah, so people really need to be careful. And I mean, thankfully in America, rabies is not a huge issue because of vaccinations, especially with our pets. Because,
well, I mean, it's mandatory. You absolutely have to have your pets vaccinated for rabies. I know that I used to have 2 dogs, and they had the dog catcher. They actually printed it in the paper to tell everybody, hey, guess what? We're coming around next week. But unfortunately, I missed it because, I'm not a big searcher of news. And so I missed it, and I'm sitting out on my front porch. My dogs are running around the yard, and this pickup truck pulls up. I didn't know who they were. They walked up to me, and they were like, let me see your license and rabies vaccinations. And I was like, I don't have them. And yeah, I got fined. I mean, and I'm talking hundreds of dollars because I had 2 dogs. And they both were licensed. But that's the thing. The fine for a rabies, not having the rabies vaccination, it can be up to $300 a piece. Now, luckily, I didn't get hit with that much. You know, I didn't get hit with $600 because it was my first offense. But I had to show proof within 3 days that both my dogs had their rabies shots. And the thing is it's not expensive. You know what I mean? Like when they do these rabies clinics, a lot of times it's like $10.
Yeah, that's exactly what
is that
this
what it
one
is?
Yeah, it's $10.
Now, where is this going to take place at?
This is going to be at the Franklin Township Municipal Building. It's in Fombelle.
Yeah, right out there in Fombelle.
Yeah. But
now, what's the date and time on that?
The date's going to be Saturday, which is a little bit strange, I think.
Okay, now the Saturday that the show airs?
No, it's going to be Saturday, December 17th,
Okay.
so it's going to be next Saturday.
Okay.
And it's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and walk-ins are welcome. In fact, they
Awesome.
don't take appointments for it. So they do say that dogs have to be on leashes and cats have to be in a carrier.
Now, I know as far as the dogs go, do the owners have to show that the dogs are licensed before they can get the vaccination, or is it just...
Nope.
Okay, all right. I went to another rabies clinic one time that was being held at Cascade Park, and you had to show your dog license. But this was easy because all I did was I went up to one of the pet stores up in Shannock, got my dog license right then and there, shot down the Cascade, got the rabies, everything was good to go.
I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, that was that particular organization.
Yeah, I've
you know,
never
I'm
heard
not
of that
saying everybody
before.
does it. I know the one thing I'm looking forward to is I'm waiting for you to tell me that there's a next neuter spay.
Yeah.
A neuter spay clinic. Because let me tell you, my little kitty,
She needs
I
it.
might as well buy her like a teddy and some garter belts for Christmas because she's in heat every 20 days.
Oh, I know.
Oh, and
Cats are the worst.
and she sounds like a hummingbird. My son calls her hummingbird because you'll be sleeping at night and she'll get right up on your chest and she just makes this brrr kind of sound constantly. You know, you got to like pick her up and put her out of the room and shut the door because she's so annoying.
Oh, I know. Cats in heat are very annoying.
And it feels like she's in heat constantly, but really it's about every 20 days that
I
she
can't
comes in
believe
heat.
that they go in heat that often. I mean,
Well,
it
I'm
makes
surprised
sense,
because
though.
it's wintertime. A lot of animals don't go into heat that often in the winter because just genetically in their genes, they know that they shouldn't be giving birth in the winter.
Yeah.
But house cats, you know, in a heated house. And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
with the weather constantly changing up and down the way it's been, I think animals' biological clocks are a little bit messed up from all that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you figure in November we had days where it was 60-some degrees in November. And
Yeah.
then literally in the course of one weekend, it dropped from 60-something to 30-something.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I don't have a voice right now because I have been doing some crazy screamo at karaoke. But I started writing this weather jingle, which is nobody has heard it except for my family. But the first line or 2 lines it starts out. It says, "The weather outside's bipolar near the PA-Ohio border," because literally that's our weather. It's just bipolar.
Oh, it is.
So-
It absolutely is. I mean, like, whenever I was in England, I couldn't believe how steady their weather was. It was like...
Yeah, but it's steady crappy though.
Yeah, well, for us it is because, like, you know, we're used to really hot summers and
Yeah.
really cold winters.
They get a lot of rain there.
They get more rain than we do, but it's not so much rain. It's more like they just always have clouds in the sky.
I was gonna say it's almost like a mist. It's almost like the air is like a foggy kind of thick. Like it's always
cloudy.
moisture in the
Always,
air.
yeah. Well, you're right. You know what? Their houses are known to always have mold because
yep.
they just don't get the sunlight like we do. You know, we get a ton of days where you can just see the blue sky,
Right.
and see right up to the heavens. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And it's like
And
in
they don't
England,
know
no. I could count like on my hands the amount of days that were actually like clear skies.
And you lived there for a year, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking like of 2 days that I can actually
Oh
think
my
of.
gosh. Now I also heard that they don't have clear nights and they're not used to seeing great amount of stars. A friend of mine came from England and it happened to be a really clear summer night.
Mm-hmm.
And he was freaking out. He was like, "Oh my God." Like he couldn't believe how many stars we had. And I said, well, you do realize that the entire Earth shares the same sky. You just couldn't see it from where you are. Same thing. A friend of ours lives in L.A., and because of the pollution level in LA, they don't see stars.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And, I guess because I grew up here in Pennsylvania, I always thought that everybody saw stars at night.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And I guess the ongoing joke, like over in California and stuff, is the reason they don't have stars in the skies because they all live in Beverly Hills.
Hey, I guess it makes sense.
Okay, it was corny. Okay, so let's move on. More about the news. What else is in the news this week?
I actually thought this was extremely interesting and a little bit fishy, but some guy went to the police station to report that his medication had been stolen off the front seat of his car, and there were 4 brand new scripts. And I mean, he claims he only went inside of Rite Aid to purchase I think it was cigarettes and an energy drink, and he said he was no longer than 10 minutes, and when he came back, the scripts were taken.
Well, I know personally, though, people who have claimed that their stuff was stolen, it's pretty difficult to get a doctor to trust that, and a lot of times it's hard to get those replaced. So,
well, I heard, like, from the, like, actual police, like, they've told me before that people commonly will go and do police reports about it. That way it looks more legit, and then hopefully the doctor will write them another script. But what is a little bit ridiculous about this is the scripts themselves were already kind of like, what doctor is going to write a script for that?
Yeah, you said that they were really, like, overzealously, like, a lot of medication.
Yes. Like I said, there was 4 scripts in total. There was 2 scripts of oxymorphone. Is it morphone or morphon?
I think it's...
Because it's spelled morphone.
Yeah, that's probably about right, because the other one's oxycodone. So, it's probably...
Okay.
If we don't pronounce it right, I think that the listening audience will forgive us. We're just a bunch of cute girls. It's okay.
Okay, well, either way. 2 scripts of oxymorphone valued at $20 per pill, and there were
per pill.
Yes, there were 60 pills per bottle.
So 120 of those.
Yes.
Wow.
And then the other 2 scripts were oxycodone, valued at $10 per pill. These are all street value, by the way. $10 per pill, and there was 120
of those
in each bottle.
Oh, in each bottle. So
Yeah.
there was 240 of those.
Yes.
Wow.
And I mean, the total street value for both of those
I know that
is
we,
like
we say that this
4,800.
sounds like an absurd amount, but we don't know. It could have been a 3-month supply, because a lot of doctors, instead of doing it every single month, will do a 3-month supply. So that if you broke those down, it wouldn't be quite as much. And I know that there are people out there who suffer from chronic pain, and I know some cancer patients that get some extreme amounts of painkillers. So I mean, we really don't know the situation, but it does seem like an absurd amount. Now, what was the street value altogether?
It's $4,800.
Wow. So somebody stole almost $5,000 worth of pills, allegedly.
Yeah. Well, I know you said, like, it could be like a 3-month prescription, but I just find that very odd that a doctor would write that much, because I know from my own personal, like, experience, they don't, like, if they're gonna give you that much, they usually do it in, like, a lower dose, or
Right.
they don't give you that much and they give you the higher dose, you know what I mean?
Right.
But different doctors, I guess.
That's crazy. Like, I have a genetic disorder, so I don't have any cartilage in my joints, so all my bones are grinding bone on bone.
Ooh.
I'm in pain every minute of the day, and I'll tell you what, I can't get doctors to write me prescriptions, and I tell them, I'm like, I'm a really active person. Me and my fiance, we have 7 kids, we have a grandkid, we're living the life of 20-somethings instead of 40-somethings. And,
Yeah.
I'm like, just give me a little assistance here. I'm absolutely not a drug addict whatsoever. I think the only thing in my life I've ever been addicted to is fried food. That, and recently in the last 10 years, I'm pretty addicted to social media, I think.
Oh, yeah. I think 99% of
Right.
America
Like
follows
2/3
you
of
on
the country.
that.
And it was funny. I was just talking about social media the other day with a guy who came in to do an interview, and he pulled out his cell phone, and he literally had like an old flip phone from 1990.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, man, and I thought dinosaurs were extinct. And he said that he refuses to conform to the new social media age.
Hey, he's probably a lot happier and knows how to hold a conversation.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You know, this is so funny that you said that. Louise Carroll works for the Elwood City Ledger, and she does shows for us. One of her very first shows that she ever did was she talked with a woman about a class that teaches people how to talk to each other.
Really?
Like, really, like, we've come so far now that we need to teach our young people how to speak.
Well, you know what?
It's crazy.
You know, I'm in that generation where it was kind of like transitioning from going, well, you know, just like going away from like personal contact and really going towards
social media outlets constantly.
Exactly. And I'll tell you what, it is horrible trying to keep a conversation with someone.
Except for here. I mean, because we have no problem talking to each other.
I know, but you're not in that generation. But I mean, like...
Oh, she just called me old, y'all. Did you hear that? Did y'all hear her call me old?
I did not call you old.
She
I
did,
said
though.
you're not in my generation.
Well, that's true. Because when I was your age, literally the internet was just coming out. You know, that it had been out for, I want to say, 10 years, but for the mass society of people, people like me, we'd never been able to have anything like that. And then, you know, back then it was dial-up internet.
Yeah.
So it took forever to log on, and I won't even mention the horrific noise you had to listen to try to get connected.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And but even with the internet back then, there wasn't social media. The internet was just good for emailing people. And, you know, it started out, you could start, you know, researching resources. But that was it. It wasn't like a connection tool. And the problem is social media blindly convinces everybody that they're more connected, but really on a personal level, they're less connected.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know from my own, like, perspectives, like, I felt a lot more comfortable talking to someone through text than I do, like, face-to-face, and it's because we do not learn the social, you know, social skills that people were once forced to have.
I have a split opinion of that. One, I agree with you. Sometimes it is easier to text somebody, only because there's no anxiety. You know, you're not facing someone. They're not looking at you. You're not perceiving how they're, you know, accepting what you're saying. So you don't get nervous. You just say what you want to say.
Yes.
But then in the other downside of that is emotion can be misconstrued very, very easily in text messages. I have witnessed it many times. I'll say something to somebody which sometimes is just sarcastic and cheeky, and they take it very personally, and before you know it, I'm feuding with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and then I have to backpedal 6 more messages to be like, I'm sorry, but that was sarcasm. You know?
Yeah.
I'm sorry you took it so personally.
I know. It's
So, I mean, there's two sides to it. You know, yes, I can more bluntly say something to somebody that I might not want to say to their face through a text message. But then in the other sense of it, sometimes I come off being really cold and crass when I don't mean to be.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's two sides to that coin.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
All right, so do we have anything else for the news this week?
Not really.
Yeah?
I mean, there were some interesting articles posted on our website, but nothing specifically worth
Okay, well,
talking about here.
if that's all that we have for the news, we're going to call it a wrap on your weekly news wrap-up. And also, don't forget, once again, everything that you hear about here on the Weekly News Wrap-Up Show can be accessed on elwoodcity.org. Thanks, Cassie, for always coming in and personally socializing with me so that I don't have to search through the website to
It's
find
my
out all the
pleasure,
information.
Nikki.
All right, Cassie, I will see you next week. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to WXED 107.3 FM. Don't forget, if you are driving out of the coverage area, you can always get us on your smartphones, your laptops, your computers, because we are now streaming. It is www.wxedfm.com. All you got to do is click on the listen button, click on the play button, and you never have to miss out what's happening here in Elwood City. All right, everybody, we'll see you next time for the Weekly News Wrap-Up.